Yo, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to talk about the Temple of Aminishi again and the Elite Dungeons, because we got more information from last week's live stream. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, the first thing I want to talk about for this is the XP we can expect from this update. Now, they said that doing standard DG is going to be much better for DG experience. However, Elite Dungeons will still be pretty decent. Now, they did this because they didn't want to devalue Demonheim with this update, so that's why they ended up taking this route. Anyways, you can expect with the Elite Dungeons anywhere from 200k to 300k XP per hour. And they did say that there may be upwards of 400k if you happen to be particularly efficient. So that is not that bad. It's nowhere near, obviously, Demonheim, but it's okay at least. But they did say that you'll be getting way more combat XP through this than you ever would with Demonheim. Now, and obviously there's always the chance of getting the new rare drops on offer. Speaking of rare drops, we still don't know what the tier 92 actually are with this that will come with this update, but they did mention multiple items associated with the tier 92. So I guess we can expect several different tier 92 gear. I'm really curious to see exactly what that is or how they're going to incorporate that, because that could make this very lucrative. But there also are lower level items between like level 80, 82, 88, and 90, and those, if you happen to get those as drops, will hold some pretty decent value overall. So while this is not the best of XP, in terms of dungeoneering itself, it will be decent, it will be good combat XP, and obviously there's always that chance of making pretty good money with this update. Moving on, I want to talk about solo for a bit. Now, it is definitely possible to go ahead and do it yourself, solo that is. They did not want to lock out people that way, so that's why they added the option to solo. But it looks like nothing is going to be done about the Elite Dungeons themselves that will scale for you based on the amount of people, which means that you'll have to do 3 times the amount of damage to make up for not having extra people if you want to go by yourself. Also, the bosses have certain mechanics that make having an additional player with you easier to deal with. But again, it's not impossible. They said that 3 players going in there together can definitely make the dungeon successful with much lower gear. But if you are going for doing it solo by yourself, you are going to want like the top end gear, something akin to what you would use at, for example, Telos or something. So just keep that in mind. It does not scale with how many people are in the dungeon, so going by yourself will be much harder than with 3 people. That's just, due to the nature of going solo. Moving on to things that will be affected with this update include the Reaper title, comp capes, obviously trim comp capes as well. Master Quest cape, however, there is a story mode that will make Master Quest cape requirements much easier to achieve. The final boss title, you will need to be getting like 100 of each boss kill, as well as insane final boss title, which means there is going to be boss pets with this update. And speaking of boss pets and drops, etc., there is a drop log. However, it will function slightly different than any other boss log because it is a dungeon log rather, so it includes everything within the Temple of Aminishi in one single log. Just so you guys know. Moving on, I want to talk about Iron Man accounts real quick. Now, you will be able to group up with Iron Man together to take on the Elite Dungeons. However, you cannot play with any main accounts, obviously. Pretty much you would expect that. But it works in the same vein as it would, for like raids on Mazcab in terms of, grouping together with people. Keep in mind though, if you die here at the Elite Dungeons, this is not a safe death. So be wary if you are a hardcore Iron Man account. Make sure you know those risks before you go in there. You wouldn't want to be assuming it's a safe death and then lose your account. So just be clear of that. Moving on, in terms of banks. Now, there will be no banks at all within the dungeon, so you're going with whatever you brought in. But there will be drop chests throughout the dungeon where you will be able to earn some supplies that will help you keep going if you happen to be running low on supplies. Now, I do not know if these drop chests are the actual loot chests themselves or if they are a separate thing, But let's go ahead and talk about the loot chests themselves anyways. Now, after defeating the first boss, you will unlock the loot chest system. This will act as both a way to access your rewards, but also a checkpoint system. So should you die, you can come back and continue on from your last checkpoint. Pretty standard, pretty straightforward. Again, I don't know if the loot chests are the same thing that you will access those supplies that allow you to keep going. That is yet to be seen, so I guess we're going to have to wait till we get more information or until it comes out. All that being said, I'm probably sure you're excited about the release, so let's talk about that. Now, there will be 2 guaranteed elite dungeons coming to the game, with a third pending on the feedback from the first 2. The first one being obviously the Temple of Aminishi that we've been talking about, and it is slotted for the beginning of July. However, they did mention that if things go well enough, they could have it out by the end of June. Now, the second dungeon will be 1 month afterward. They've been very quiet about what exactly the second dungeon is, but I've said in the past that it does have that lava theme, so it's curious to see what route they're going to take from that. But it will come either July if Aminishi comes out in June, or August, obviously, if Aminishi comes out in July. Now, based on feedback on the first Elite Dungeon, they can make tweaks to the new ones coming out afterwards. For example, they can make the Elite Dungeoneering outfit, that Garaho outfit, have a use within Elite Dungeons, but it doesn't look like it's going to have one with Aminishi. I don't know yet, that's yet to be seen, but I will follow up when I get more information on it, so that's all fine and dandy. With that being said, that pretty much wraps up the new information I got regarding it. Let me know what you guys think about it. Love to hear your thoughts. Are you still hyped about it? I definitely am myself. Can't wait to get into this content. Looks amazing, and I think it's going to be a really good new addition to the PVM scene. That'll wrap it up for the video though, guys. If you have enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.